Royal Caribbean has three big headline ways to take more of your money the second you step off the ship at Perfect Day at CocoCay, which is their private island. And every one of them is built to make the free island feel like the budget version you just settle for. But here's what they will not tell you. That free island, it's not the consolation prize. It's legit a great beach day that can be free because you already paid for the cruise in full. So the question almost nobody stops to ask is not which upgrade to buy, but it's whether or not you need to buy any of them at all. Now, I've done the free version of CocoCay more times than I can count, and I've also splurged on some of the paid options. So by the end of this, I want to tell you the one add-on I actually pay for and the exact conditions I wait for before I do it, the one I think is a flat-out waste of money, and the catch that can erase every dollar you spend no matter what you book. Hi, I'm Melissa, a university professor who loves to cruise and who loves to talk ship. All right, let's start with the baseline because it's the whole reason that this question matters. The free side of CocoCay, it's not just scraps that they throw at you while the paying guests are having the real fun. Your cruise fare when you take a Royal Caribbean cruise already covers at Perfect Day multiple beaches, they're all great, from the calm shallow water at Chill Island to the more active stretch at South Beach, plus Oasis Lagoon, one of the largest freshwater pools in the Caribbean with its own swim-up bar right in the middle of it. You get access to free loungers, free umbrellas, they have tram service, they have amazing all-you-can-eat food at all these grills and all these snack shacks, and the snack shack brownies are honestly better than they have any right to be. But one thing a lot of people don't realize is that your Royal Caribbean drink package actually works on the island like it does on the ship. That's different than some other cruise lines like Carnival. There's no island surcharge tacked on. And that's a real perk here. Now, is it busy? Yes, it can be. There's pros and cons to cruising to a Perfect Day at CocoCay. I have a whole video and port guide about it. I'll drop the links below if you want to check that out. And this can especially be the case when there are two ships in port, especially when there are the mega ships like Icon or Star of the Seas, and you got 10,000 people sharing the sand. Now, I personally hate crowds, so my move is simple here. I always walk a little farther or take the tram out to one of the quieter beaches, and the crowd problem mostly solves itself because cruisers tend to congregate around those areas close to the end of the pier. So for most people, this is a complete and genuinely good beach day. The paid zones are not there to fix a bad free experience, but they exist to sell you a different kind of day. And that's the lens that you kind of have to judge them through. All right, so first let's talk about Coco Beach Club and if it's worth the splurge. Coco Beach Club, that's that high-end, bougie corner of the island. It's a little remote. You might want to take the tram. And it is the one paid zone I will personally open my wallet for. And I am a pretty frugal cruiser. I ball on a budget, but I will only do that under very specific conditions. And I'll get into those. But first, let me tell you what you're buying when you pay for a pass at Coco Beach Club. It's a private beach. They have a hard cap on how many people can get in. So on an island hosting thousands of people, you are sharing the sand with a few hundred people instead of a few thousand people. There is a heated oceanfront infinity pool. There are premium towels provided so you don't have to schlep them off the ship. They have upgraded loungers, and the real headliner is the food. It provides a sit-down restaurant where lunch is included with your pass, and the menu is famous for its surf and turf option. And the quality here is closer to a specialty restaurant on the ship than all of the free island grills, which is your basic burgers, hot dogs. They're good, but they're certainly not this premium food that you're gonna get at Coco Beach Club. Now, on a recent visit to CocoCay, I got to enjoy Coco Beach Club, and I gotta tell you, it spoiled me. It was super calm. I actually was able to relax. I loved the lack of crowds. I loved how easy it was to bounce between the infinity pool and the beach and not having a lot of people in the pool. The pool's a little small, but I like that it wasn't crowded, and the food was actually really, really good. And the food alone is actually what makes it worth the price for me. Now, my honest catch here, and this does matter, I will only splurge for passes here when Royal Caribbean's dynamic pricing is on the lower end. Because if you're not familiar with Royal Caribbean, all the add-ons that you buy uses dynamic pricing, so the price can fluctuate, sometimes wildly. And I also will only buy it when I have a pretty good read that the weather that day is actually going to cooperate. So I generally, when I book a Royal Caribbean cruise, I'm not going to invest in passes at any of the paid spots until I have a better idea of what the weather is going to be like. Because again, that price can swing wildly, and if it's gonna end up being a rainout day, I don't wanna have to pay for it, and I don't wanna pay a lot for it. So I watch for the pricing. If I can catch a good price, I'll snag it. And I also usually will tend to buy closer to the cruise when I have a better handle on how the weather is likely to be. Now, of course, no one can fully predict the weather, but it gives you a good indicator. Now, that does, of course, mean that I take the risk that it's gonna be sold out because they do have a cap on attendance. That has happened before. I've waited till maybe a week or two out from my cruise. I decided I like the price. The weather looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it, but it's sold out. So if you really have your heart set on Coco Beach Club, go ahead and buy it. But for me, That's the formula that I use when I decide whether or not I'm going to go. Now, let's talk about the cabanas, because this is a big thing at Cocoa Beach Club. They are private beach cabanas. They can run anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s, and their overwater cabanas routinely top $2,000. So they're really expensive. So a regular Cocoa Beach Club pass gets you that same quiet, private, upgraded, fancy, nice feel with far better food for a fraction of that. For me personally, I would have a hard time justifying the purchase of a cabana. When I was there recently, I was swimming in the same water that the people slide from on their slides, their private slides and their overwater cabanas. We were sharing the same water. Their water wasn't any better, their snorkeling wasn't any better, and they paid a couple $1,000s for that. Now, if you have the budget and interest in that, more power to you. For me, that's a hard sell. So while I find Cocoa Beach Club passes worth it under the right conditions, I probably would be hard pressed to ever find myself investing in a cabana. Now let's talk about Hideaway Beach. This is CocoCay's first adults only zone for 18 and up, and it gets billed as the big party corner of CocoCay. Now here's what surprised me in person though. I just got home a few weeks ago from Star of the Seas. I got to go to Hideaway Beach for the first time. I liked it, but I probably wouldn't pay for it. Let me tell you why I came to that conclusion. Now, Hideaway Beach is grown-up fun. I did like that. It was kind of classy grown-up fun. It wasn't some sloppy free-for-all with like people just chugging alcohol. So I did like the vibe quite a bit. The centerpiece is a large heated pool, significantly bigger than the heated pool you're gonna find at Cocoa Beach Club. And it really came in clutch because on the day that we visited, it was too cold to be in the ocean. So we really made use of that pool. They have a swim up bar built in. They have floating games like ping pong, which we played, which was really fun. They have in-water loungers. They have a DJ playing really nice music that's upbeat and kind of club feeling, but not vulgar. And look, I'm a hip hop girly. I love my vulgar music, but I know it's not for everybody. So don't be turned off, because I think they strike a good balance of fun party-ish music without being something that's going to offend people. And they do have dancers that they bring in, and not like pole dancers, but you know, fun cruise dancers, right? That help keep that energy up. And I really thought that was fun as well. Now, if you like the beach, you want a beach day, that's our preference. But again, the weather, unfortunately, was not cooperating. It was a little cold. The beach is really nice. There's a calm crescent of beach off to the side. It's kind of cordoned off, so you're not gonna get pounded with huge waves. So it's really nice to have both of those options, a really nice heated pool and a calm beach scene. Now, the vibe is the thing I wanna be clear about, because the marketing sometimes makes it seem like something I think it's not. Sometimes it's portrayed on forums and communities as like, ooh, let's turn up, it's a booze cruise. And that's not what I found. And I'm actually happy because I'm not a big drinker. Now, I do like to dance, I like the club, I like to party. My guy does not. He hates that kind of scene. So I figured I would like Hideaway Beach. I thought he would hate it. But to our surprise, I liked it, and he also liked it. It was lively, it was social, it was very adult, but it was very tasteful. As I mentioned, the music, a pleasant surprise, upbeat, modern, but nothing vulgar. And all of the adults were really well behaved. So the two things here really worked for me. The adults only piece, it was great. No kids everywhere, splashing and being obnoxious, although I know adults can do that too. But I also like, again, that the pool is heated. And that really matters if, like me, you end up there on a day where it's too cold to get in the ocean. Now, I do also want to quickly mention the food, because some of it here at Hideaway Beach is stuff you cannot get anywhere else on the island. So on my visit, Slice of Paradise, they had fresh pizza by the slice and empanadas with beef, chicken, and apple options. And I did try these things and it was okay. It wasn't delicious. It wasn't anything far better than what I think you're gonna get at the snack shacks anywhere else on CocoCay. So the food, I would certainly say, is not a make or break thing. And it's certainly not a reason to pay the higher admission on its own, like I do think is the case at the Cocoa Beach Club. But it is a nice little perk once you're already in, and if you want to come for other reasons than just the food. Now, here's the honest part, because it changes how you should weigh my take. I did not pay for Hideaway. I don't do cruise line sponsorships, but I do, like a good degenerate, I play in the casino, so I cruise for free. I also have a guide on free casino cruises. I'll drop that below if you want to learn how to be an idiot like me and cruise free. And I use air quotes because there's nothing free about it. But anyway, Royal Caribbean has been dabbling in adding some fun add-ons for casino cruisers. And on this cruise on Star of the Seas, which was a free casino cruise, I had the perk as a casino cruiser of 2 free Hideaway Beach passes. So I absolutely went to try it. I got a paid upgrade for free. But after the day, even though we had a wonderful day, I had to ask myself, would I have paid for this out of pocket were it not free? And my honest answer, Probably not. And again, it depends on the Royal Caribbean dynamic pricing. If I could get pricing on the lower end, I probably would, assuming I'm not cruising with my kids and I am just cruising with adults 18 plus. But on the higher end, probably not, because for the kind of day I like, the free quieter beaches, they already give me the kind of calm vibe I'm after. So for me, again, so much of it is price dependent. Now I mentioned the upgrade cabana option, and those are also an option at Hideaway. The Hideaway cabanas near the pool, they run roughly $900 to $1,700, and the Hideout cabins, which sit around their own private infinity plunge pool, those run much higher, $1,700 to $2,700. Those are per cabana, not per person. So if you're cruising with a group and you're splitting the cost, that can actually be pretty reasonable. But for me, doing the cruise math, I don't think I would ever spend that because I could book a whole cruise for the cost of a cabana. And again, you never can predict the weather. If you spent all this money on a cabana, the weather is terrible, it's a total rain out, you're really kind of wasting your money. So if a kid-free party pool, but tasteful party pool, is your idea of the perfect day at CocoCay, Hideaway delivers exactly that, and you're gonna love it. Just know that you're paying for a vibe in an adults-only bubble, not really an upgrade in quality. So this is more of a want, not a need, and there's no shame in either answer. It's just important to know what you're gonna be buying. Now let's talk about Thrill Water Park. This is a different animal completely than the other two. The water park is the one paid zone I have not done myself because I am not a water park fan. My 13-year-old daughter is, so she would have a very different review than I would, but I'm not gonna pretend like I visited. I have not. Instead, I went and looked at what other cruisers or people I know have gone, what they have to say. And the picture is pretty consistent. If the water slides are the whole reason for getting off the ship, the people who love it really love it. This is a really nice water park. It has one of the tallest water slides in the world, largest wave pools in the Caribbean, and the thrill crowd, who doesn't just love water slides, but the really exciting water slides, they say consistently that this delivers. Now the complaints though, they're just as consistent, but those complaints generally boil down to two things. First, the value, because as I've mentioned, Royal's dynamic pricing means there's no set number. You can see passes dip down into the 30s and 40s on an off-season quiet sailing, but you can also, during a peak sailing, see those prices climb up past 150, with the average landing somewhere around 75 bucks. So even at that average, you're paying real money for what really is a partial day, since you're not spending an entire day at CocoCay. Usually that return to ship time is sometimes 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and the ship sets sail by dinner time. The second complaint, families with young kids frequently say they did regret paying for it because the free options like Splashaway Bay and Captain Jill's Galleon already keep those little ones happy right outside the gate and at no extra cost. So if you do decide to invest in Thrill Water Park passes, there's two things worth knowing. One, Royal Caribbean brought back half-day passes in 2025, so there is a cheaper way if you only want to visit for a few hours. And because Royal changes these prices constantly, the move that seasoned Royal cruisers swear by is to book it, then refund and rebook it if the price drops before you're sailing. Same pass, less money. So I do want to mention that too about the other stuff. I hate Royal Caribbean's dynamic pricing, but I do like the rebook refund option. And that is another thing that you can also apply to Cocoa Beach Club and Hideaway Beach as well. For me personally, I don't want to have to stalk the webpage. It just creates stress for me. I'm not interested in that because I cruise a lot and I would be watching too many things at the same time. But for the average person that cruises maybe once a year, probably worth doing. Now, here's the bigger issue with the water park though, and it leads straight to the thing that almost nobody factors in when they're clicking that buy button. And that is what happens when the weather doesn't cooperate. So this is that catch that I talked about at the start of this video, and it's the single most overlooked risk in this whole conversation. Every one of these paid attractions is at the mercy of the weather. The water park especially. The tall slides shut down in wind, and that happens far more often than people probably expect. Their up and away balloon ride, we didn't talk about that because that's not a paid zone, it's a paid feature. That gets grounded pretty regularly. I've tried to do that ride a few times before, and even when it doesn't feel particularly windy, it seems like it's never going. So you can hand over real money for an experience and then physically not be able to get the thing that you paid for. So here's where you have to understand the fine print. Royal Caribbean's official policy is simple. If Shore Excursions cancels the activity due to weather, your onboard account will get a full refund. The gray area though, and this is where cruisers get frustrated, is partial closures. So if the Thrill Water Park stays open and operating, even with the tallest, best slides shut down all day because of wind, well, that's not a cancellation in Royal Caribbean's eyes, and you're generally not gonna get your money back. You can pay full price, ride almost nothing, and still not qualify for a refund. So compare that to the free side. A beach chair in the ocean, they don't shut down in a breeze. And worst case scenario, if it is a complete rain out, at least you didn't pay for it. So you gotta consider the weather as a part of this equation too. So at the end of the day, do you need to pay for anything at CocoCay? Absolutely not. You don't have to spend a single dime to have a great day at CocoCay. The free food they offer is in abundance and it's genuinely good. You don't have to swipe your card like you do at other cruise line private islands and you get like one meal a day. It is a free for all. And again, the food's legit good. The beaches, regardless of the zone, they're all great. The pool is great. And your drink package counts on the island too. That is a pretty solid baseline. And there's a reason why Perfect Day at CocoCay consistently wins Best Cruise Line Private Island Awards. It's pretty awesome. If you do want to spend money though, keep it simple. Cocoa Beach Club, I think, is the one add-on genuinely worth the money if you like that bougie experience. If you like water slides, especially the thrill rides, and you're willing to take the weather risk and you can get a good price with the dynamic pricing, I think the water park earns its price. And Hideaway Beach, if you really do want a more mature adult day, you like a little bit of that classy party scene, absolutely worth it as well. So I want you to know all the ins and outs, the pros and cons of these 3 paid zones and determine your budget, your interests, what you like, what you don't like, and only you can make the decision if it's worth it for you or not. But that's my take. Have you visited any of these paid zones? Do you think they're worth it or not? Drop your comments and experiences down in the comments and let's talk ship.